G'day guys, welcome back to Jetski's garage. Getting some more things ticked off on Dumbo, and we have special guest Filthy Builds in the house. So we're gonna get some stuff done. Long weekend here in Adelaide, and I figured it'd be a good opportunity to get some stuff done on this car. Have my list of things, ticks the stuff I've already bought, and then I've got some other things I've got to get sorted and work on. And one of the things is a dash. Now my last video, that was all pulled out, most of it, but now it's just the fascia that's not in. And to some people's disgust, I did cut up my GTGS fascia, but that's okay. So I brought over an expert. Don't have to walk away, Phil.
It's me that's disgusted with the cut up like that.
So Phil's brought his over because he's already done the cutting up of a 6-cylinder one, and I actually found some differences in it. The GT one is actually narrower here, which will be a benefit for my Holley dash because it'll fit better. Like, that's pretty close, but the 5mm difference will make the bottom of the screen fit in a lot better. Oh, look at this man, look at him. Beautiful, isn't it? So we were going to use, I got this big sheet of alley that I used for my sump. Phil's, there's my cut up fascia. Phil wasn't too keen on messing around with the thick stuff, so I had this laying underneath the bench, which used to be in my work ute, and it is absolutely stuffed. We measured, and it looks like the back, already a nice folded corner. And then we'll have enough, hopefully, to then fold another corner and make it work. So if we have a look at Phil's one, he's got it folded on the sides there like that.
Don't give away my secrets.
No. Anyone else want to work stuff out? We'll cut up that toolbox, do a bit of folding, and yeah, make it fit into this fascia and see if we can get that done today. If we've got time, we'll try and get some other things done too, but that is my main task for today. So the fascia is all pretty well trimmed up. Phil's cut most of that toolbox up. Now I've got to make it fit inside the cab, and we need to get rid of this, which is where the heater control and that went, and it goes to this steel frame which will get in the way. So I'm going to trim up here. Hoping some of these other ones I can just leave in there, but we'll see that when we test fit the other section. So get my trusty Sawzall, going to attack it. How's it looking, Philip?
Terrible.
Looks good to me.
got the general shape of it, basic shape of it. Just trying to mark out the edges, add a bit more cardboard in there and a bit of arts and craft. And we'll just transfer that template over to the back of that toolbox and start folding.
So after being extremely noisy, this toolbox had all like locks on it to stop your drawers from falling out while you're driving. So I just had to clean and prep that up a fair bit, but yeah, that will turn into the backing. We come back over here. Pretty much everything's cut out and taken out what needs to be. I had to lower the steering because the column was actually pushing that bit of plastic up, which was making it hard. But yeah, we'll adjust that as we go through it. And in the meantime, while he's doing that, I'm going to start, where am I? Over here. Start making up a bracket for my slave cylinder, for my clutch. So I'll get onto that. All right, bracket is folded. I've drilled my holes and that fits all right. And actually lines up to that hole pretty well. And then when I put this on, I'm pretty happy with that. And it's going to be bang on. And out of steel, obviously, been a lot stronger. Thank you for your confirmation, Phil. But anyway, let's go have something to eat. Tea time.
Copy that. Hey guys, I want to take over Benny's video for a moment. Back at my place, yesterday I didn't get as much done as I'd like to on Benny's car. When we catch up, which isn't often enough, we talk a lot. We catch up, we talk about cars. I've also got a coupe with the Godzilla in it, for those that don't know. And brainstorming with what Benny's got going on with his oil pan, all that sort of stuff. So I didn't get as much done as I would have liked, and what I did do I wasn't happy with. I think Benny's car deserves better than what I did yesterday. So I've just spent a little bit of time this evening. I've made up another insert for that dash. It's not finished, the ends need trimming to shape, but there's an alloy insert in there as well. So I think that's a lot neater and that'll work out really nicely. And that widescreen Netflix TV that he's putting in that dash, that'll look really good in there, I think. So yeah, Benny will pick that up tomorrow, and back to him. Cheers guys.
Right, so I've moved on a little bit on this bracket for the slave cylinder. I've done some extra holes, and on the housing here, on the main housing, so that hole there was just a standard, I don't know if it's for a dowel hole for something else, but it doesn't do anything for this bell housing. So what I did is I tapped that out to 3/8 thread. So now I can utilize 2 bolt holes on this. I mocked it up, then I marked out my holes to mount the slave cylinder, and that is all good. But what I want to do is I want to add a little gusset there to add some extra strength. Went into my bin, and what I found was the cut-off piece that I cut off that bracket, and it will actually fit quite well. And I'm going to put that bad boy there like that. Nice and straight and cleaned up, obviously, because that's still got a bit of crap on it. But that'll be it, and then I don't have to cut anything. That was a terrible weld session. I think the young fella must have turn the dial. So I was welding really crap to begin with, didn't realise the settings had changed down to, it was like 0.9 meters a second or something like that. And my batteries are going flat on my helmet, so my eyes are a bit anyway, I should have just stopped and come back to it another time and done it properly. But anyway, it's done. It looks crap, but all good. So I've been down to Phil's and picked up that dash insert. Thank you very much, mate. I do appreciate that. Yeah, what he said there's pretty bang on. A lot of chin wagging when we get together. But that's what you do when you're doing stuff with cars. You chat a lot about them as well and catch up. So let's have a look at what he's done and how it fits. So these are the two pieces. That's the alloy insert he was talking about. And now if we... How good of a workbench is a boot though? Like, just throw a rubber mat on. It's about all I can use this thing for at the moment anyway. Yeah, this actually fits pretty damn good considering he didn't have... Like, he didn't take this fascia home with him. He just did it off some measurements. There's a bow in the fascia and not his steel, but that fits pretty good. They're the edges he's talking about, so I'll mark them, trim them to suit. And yeah, with this insert, I don't know whether to use that as a finish piece, so I can bastardize the back of that. Because if we, where's my screen? Oh, it's over here, I think. No, over here, on this workbench. So with the screen, it's got mount holes there, but if you want it to be like a bit more flush, you could almost, yeah, I can cut out that measurement there and recess this into that alloy insert, and then possibly those screw holes can mount to the actual backing of this. So yeah, and I might be able to make that. Yeah, I think that might work. So anyway, more arts and crafts to be done. Better get into it. All right, now we are measuring out. I have trimmed the ends like Phil said I would need to do, and done a little bit more trimming inside the cab. So I had to trim off a little bit more up in here and just fine tune a little bit here and there. But now I'm just trying to get all these holes for this. So what I think I'll do is initially I'm going to mount that to the face. Mount that to the face inside here. That's where that plug is going to go. So I'm going to hole saw a nice big hole there for that. And then I'll see how I go and whether or not I cut this out to go around. I probably will, because once this sits in, I'll probably end up putting some controls here. So it'd be nice if I could keep it flush and flat with the face of the screen. But it is pretty tight in that regard, like the top to the bottom. So I might end up just cutting there. So thank you, Phil, for prepping the rest of this. But yeah, I might only need that much because it is quite tight as she goes in. But we'll get the rest of these holes. There's my first hole there. Get the rest of them done. Marked out a couple others, and then you got to mark out the bottom ones. And but yeah, let's see how it looks when it's done. Well, here we have it. All my holes. All my holes are all drilled and done. Just got it in there loose because I'm going to have to undo it anyway, because I need to do my holes for the fascia surround to finish that off. And once that's drilled, I'll then give it a clean, paint it, glue it into the fascia, and then probably make up my piece here as well to go into the other side. If anyone does go to do this, don't be scared to read the manual. The manual does have some measurements. It is an Imperial, so they are using the more accurate measuring units. But yeah, I'm pretty happy. I reckon it's going to look pretty cool. And there is the painted version. I haven't drilled here yet because trying to get it into the fascia trim, it was pretty difficult. So I really needed to just get it glued in. That's pretty solid now. A couple of little spots here and there, but I'm not phased at all. So yeah, now that is stuck together, I can do my drill holes and then that'll mount in the dash. So keen to get it in. All right, got the screen screwed into the fascia. I must have just bent that. Doing the screen up, I reckon. Better do some tweaking. All right, that is in. I'm pretty happy with it. Like, it's not quite centered with the column, but because this is not forever, I'm okay with that. And then we still just got to do a little section for controls in that there, in that bare spot. So whether or not the aircon and fan and that will go on there, not sure. But yeah, we'll figure it out. Anyway, that's pretty snug fit. It's probably not best to show it with a light this close, but anyway. Alright, so I'm going to pull this back out because I think it's probably time I start getting a harness put onto that thing. So since my last video, I did not have the sump on my Godzilla yet. Now, it is on, the silicone is on, it's all mounted up, and happy days. I notched out the windage tray and that was able to fit in quite nicely. Didn't have to take too much out. And yeah, started putting some fittings on this. So we've got the fitting at the front there. Now when I welded it, I did test to make sure I could put a 90 on, but since it's been welded completely, I can't get a hose end to screw onto it. So I'm probably gonna have to maybe heat it and just give it a bit of a massage with a hammer and make that work. Now that's done for now. Next step is going to be wiring that up, because I do have the Holley Godzilla plug and play EFI kit for this engine. So let's get it out and have a look. All right, so I've already opened the box because I started filming it and the camera was too low and my head was cut off. So, for people playing at home, part number is 5501431. As you'd expect, harnesses and all that, plenty of them. We have an O2 sensor, we have some more harnesses. They're going to be injector harnesses, I'm pretty sure. We have main power harness. We have our little 3.5 inch touchscreen, which won't be needing that. I'll probably still keep it in the car as a spare anyway, just in case that big one fails. Yeah, not sure where that goes to, but I'm sure the instructions will tell us. We also have some coil drivers, which they look pretty good. And we also have our ECU. A couple other little small bits and pieces in there, and then that's our drive-by-wire harness. I still don't know whether I'll use the factory throttle body or buy like an LS one and adapt it and stuff. If I can get a pedal in there easy enough, I might just do that. The factory throttle body is still really good at producing some good horsepower. I spoke to Nathaniel from Fuel Tech, and he said when they were doing the testing and stuff like that, like they got really good numbers out of that factory throttle body. So for what I'm doing, naturally aspirated, not even a cam swap or anything yet, I'm more than happy to use that. I don't think it's going to be a restriction at all. So yeah, we'll see how we go. It's going to be a time and money thing, I think, on what way I go. All right, so now everything's unpacked, might as well start getting it on the engine and making it look like it's a complete thing. Okie dokie. Alright, so the wiring is pretty much done. A couple of small things still left loose-ish. We have map sensor, which there is an onboard one in the ECM, but I might look at maybe putting one in that port there. That was for the crankcase breather. I also have fuel pressure sensor is there, and this is just an eBay jobby, which is the same plug and same parameters. So at 0 to 100 PSI. Yeah, everything else sort of goes all right. Like, it's a generic harness, so it's never gonna fit everything perfectly. So there is excess at the back there, but there are, don't know if you can see in this light, not really. There's those tabs there, there's 2 of them on the back of the manifold. That will be good for some zip ties to make the rest of that harness nice and sturdy. We have the other parts that come down the front here. That's the cam, runs in the back, or underneath those pulleys. And then the knock sensor harness, I sort of wanted to go over the top of the water pump, but it's too tight. Can't be bothered lengthening it. It does run that way as well with that. But I'm just gonna have to sort of zip tie it up there with that harness and yeah, keep it out of the way of the pulley. But I think it's doable and will be safe enough. Now, with everything there, the dash is in, ECM is over there with everything plugged in. So I think we should be good enough. I've sorted a battery here and we've got our wires. So I might hook them up to the battery. Also have main power there and see what we get. I don't think I can put the pedal in yet because it's needs to be calibrated, the pedal to the throttle body. And I don't have the cord to connect the laptop up to the ECM, so I can't calibrate the throttle body, I don't think. So anyway, is what it is for now. We'll just power it up and watch the dash go on. All right, let's see this thing come alive. We'll do Earths first. Should be those. And now some powers. I hope that's coming alive. Oh, yes, dash is on. All right, let's go have a look. It's awesome. Oh, hold on. Yeah, so ECM's on, got some lights. I'll have a look, see what those lights are in a minute. But that's good to see. ECM's powered up. And the dash power's up. Ooh. All right. So I think you can adjust the gauges and stuff, but this is kind of what I do like about this touchscreen, is that I can just do stuff on it. Configuration, dash configuration. Ooh. Plugins. No plugins. Vehicle. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Plugins, what's CAN 1, and local import output. Yeah, right. Well, that's pretty cool. So now we can go cancel, just X that, go OK, and back to the dashboard. Beautiful. And yeah, on the fly you can go through the different backgrounds and see what you got. But yeah, that's pretty cool. I think I'll probably end up just sticking to that one, to be honest. And that looks pretty good. But anyway, that makes me really happy that powers up, and I don't know, it feels so much closer to getting running and feeling done, because yeah, I've actually got something on the dash. I'm probably going to leave that there because that pretty much sums up all of the Holley EFI side of things. So I've got to obviously tidy up my powers and earths, which reminds me I've still got that battery hooked up. So let's disconnect that. Yeah, I've still got to finish that wiring to key switch and main power source. I've got my throttle pedal coming from the States, because according to Holley, I have to have a specific Ford throttle pedal to suit that throttle body. Now, it ends up being a Mustang pedal, pretty much. From 2011 to 2022, they've superseded like 3 of them, and pretty much one part number covers the lot. Apparently, I've ordered it, see what happens. That pedal I've got in the cab is a VF Commodore one. I'll see if I can calibrate that through the laptop and get that to work with the throttle body. Do need that cord to be able to communicate from the laptop to the ECU. Got an air temp sensor coming, and that's pretty much it for the wiring side of things. Yeah, I'm pretty happy. Got to do a grommet for that big hole that I just drilled into my firewall, 51 mil, 2 inches. But yeah, anyway, oh, an alternator. Alternator's on its way as well. So that'll be a LS alternator that has to go with this, but that should be standalone from the ECM. Don't know if I'll try and get it to work with the ECM. Probably not. I'll probably just convert it to a one-wire setup and be done with it, and happy days. And then if I need to swap it out when I'm driving and it fails, it's easy to do. But yeah, anyway, hope you learned something. Hope that helps answer some questions for people who are thinking about getting that Holley EFI setup. I think it's good. Like, I think it's going to continue to be good. It is a proven system. It wasn't too bad. It was plug and play. A couple extra little bits that you need to get. But all in all, it's pretty simple. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll catch you next one.